What's up, guys? Welcome back to Harry's Space. Today I have with me Michelle Choi. I'm also very excited because we are slowly upgrading the space, and today we're going to be using the Blue Yeti, so hopefully the audio will be better from now on. Anyway, Michelle is also from Hong Kong, and we're going to ask her a few questions about the biggest difference between living in London and Hong Kong.
Ooh, that's what we're going to be talking about today?
The first question.
And this is the second time I'm seeing you since you moved to London.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
You're busy.
I know. You're busy too.
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I've been right here in Harry's Space.
Oh my god, different types of London. I haven't even been in London all summer, so it's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to
Cheers.
see you. What we were just talking about recently, the Oscars, and actually we talked about this on my last podcast as well. The Oscars have just announced a new category, most popular film.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is great because, Michelle, why don't you tell everyone what you do for a living? Because I think it's quite relevant.
Right. Okay, so I guess we're both Hong Kong kids at the end of the day, but one of the reasons why we hang out so much is because we identify as third culture kids.
Yes.
So people who grew up in one environment but are used to being around people from a different environment, and because of that you learn how to adapt to people.
How did you get better explanations about it than I do?
No, you do. You've given that pitch 1,000 times. You've perfected it. Actually, I'm sorry I took that away from you.
I always like to hear
other people's take on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did a thing with Cathay Pacific explaining what being a third culture kid means.
Oh yeah, that was the last thing we did in Hong Kong.
That was the last thing we did in Hong Kong before I just spontaneously moved away.
And then we were in Cathay magazine on the.
I never saw that. You never sent me the Cathay magazine.
We have copies. I'll get you a copy.
Okay, please get me a copy.
Yeah.
Did I make it in there? Is it a video or is it?
No, it's a spread.
Oh, so they wrote quotes down.
Shout out to Cathay. Cathay is Hong Kong's airline.
Thank you, Cathay. We love you, Cathay. My mom's name is Catherine, and she used to work for Cathay. Cathy for Cathay. Anyways, super catchy. But anyway, so went to boarding school in the States, so left Hong Kong when I was 13. Went to boarding school, and then I went to California to study film. And lived in California for 6 years, lived in America for a total of 10 before I had to leave because apparently I'm British. Never lived in London. It was just a Hong Kong thing because it was a British colony. And came back to Hong Kong and didn't quite know what to do with the background in film and TV and media. It just wasn't working out. And so I moved here to London just on a whim. I got an interview.
And you'd never been here before, right? You visited.
I visited, but I just don't know London. It's such a different culture. The weather is a drastic change from California. Like I think I told you the first day I moved here, I was just by myself and I walked around central London and it's kind of like drizzling and raining. And these two older women in front of me were like, "Aren't you so glad we took today off of work? Isn't it such a beautiful day?" And I'm right behind these women being like, they're so funny. Wow, they're really sarcastic. I'm getting British sarcasm. And then it took me a while before I realized they're really genuine. They think it's a nice day.
I remember.
How cute is that?
I remember I thought it was strange when I got here and we had that amazing English summer. And then people started complaining and they were saying it's too hot. I can't wait for it to rain. And I was like, what's wrong with you? It's amazing.
I don't understand. And
please stay like this.
It started getting colder last week and the British people in my office were saying, "Oh, wasn't it so crisp and nice?" And I'm like, no. Like all the non-British people were like, no, we're like not excited about this, and all the Brits were excited. Yeah. Interesting dynamic. My God.
Going back to your passport, I thought it was quite interesting. One of my Hong Kong friends, they actually studied in England, and they didn't renew their passport, and now it's almost impossible for them to get to get the British passport again because I had to go through that application.
Oh, I see.
So Hong Kongers, I would say, if you have it, don't lose it, especially with Brexit coming up and who knows what's going to happen with that.
Dual citizenship is very very useful to have.
And all it takes is it's a little bit of effort to renew it, and it just saves you so much heartache if you ever, because you never thought you would end up in England, right?
No, but if I didn't have this passport, I just wouldn't know what to do with myself in Hong Kong, because in the industry that I work in, it's just not happening. And to go from LA, Hollywood, the center of entertainment, I can't go from that to start up nothing. You know, it just doesn't fulfill me creatively. I need to learn from people that inspire me, and that's one of the reasons why I was so happy I met you, Harry, because going there I realized that people didn't understand art the same way that we did, and the way that we would talk about it, and just I was so happy I met you.
Well, did you ever hear that Eddie Murphy joke about girls can't go backwards in lifestyle? Like he said
go up.
Men can't go backwards sexually, and females can't go backwards in lifestyle.
What do you
So
mean?
the first time you date a guy with his own car,
okay,
every guy has his own
yeah.
car from then on.
Yeah, you
right?
build off.
First time a guy has his own apartment, like you can't date a guy that lives with his mom. Like he's got to have his own apartment. And so it seems like you can't go backwards. You can't go backwards culturally.
Yeah, I can't.
You can't.
I can't.
So I had to go from LA, and then you needed something, and now you're in London.
Need something more.
There you go.
But I am happy I'm in London compared to LA, even though I do think my best friends tend to be Californian. The way that London is so diverse and multicultural, it is special, because one of the things about London is that you hear so many different languages, and you're used to being surrounded by people that are from different places from you, that you're more accepting. In some ways, Europe is like Babylon, where there's so many different languages. But because of that, you learn to be accepting of people that are different from you. Whereas in America, you're used to Americans, even California, in and of itself is so Californian. You don't adapt to anyone, people adapt to you.
But you've been to New York though, right?
Of course.
So
I
don't you
studied.
think New York is similar?
I went to boarding school on the East Coast, but I don't know. I feel like New York, it's New York more than anything else.
Yeah, a lot of my friends have said that. It's a very interesting description.
It feels it. You can feel it when you go there. You're a New Yorker.
Yes, that's what they say. They say instead of
American,
accepting
you're a New
each
Yorker.
other, you all become this new thing, which is a New Yorker. Whereas like in London, it's all about what do you bring, what can I learn from you, how do we mix?
Yeah.
I find that very
It's
fascinating.
much more different. Like New Yorker, people adapt to being a New Yorker.
Have you ever been to Singapore?
Yeah, I mean, I'm heading to Singapore in 2 months actually for work.
Because I was in Singapore earlier this year, and I think Singapore is very similar to New York in that they've taken all this.
Malaysians.
I do think Singapore is one of the
Chinese.
most international cities in Asia.
I think, if anything, Singapore is almost the New York of Asia, or in the same way that London is to Asia, because it used to be Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It used to be Hong Kong, and unfortunately, I don't know when that. Oh, maybe it's the 97 hand back to China. That was the beginning of Hong Kong not being that hub. That was the beginning. And it's unfortunate, but like I am still very proud to be from Hong Kong.
Me too.
And it's very diverse, it's very multicultural, and when I explain to people who aren't familiar with it what we have, like for example, growing up, you have HKIS, CIS, German Swiss International School, French International School, American International School. Like people don't realize just how diverse Hong Kong is. But I guess that's Singapore now. Yeah,
and I mean, and the thing is that, differently, Singapore, the standard of English is incredible, it's only getting better.
Hong Kong is getting worse for English standards.
Which is strange, right?
Yeah.
Strange. But I mean, personally, I feel Hong Kong is going through, it's almost an identity crisis. It doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it a Cantonese city? Is it a mainland Chinese city?
No.
Is it an international city?
How dare you even say that? Are you trying to trigger me? Because I am triggered.
Hey, I'm just saying the options. Meanwhile, Singapore is very clear with who they are.
And what is that?
They're Singaporean. You know, it's like you can have, you know, Christian, Muslim, Indian, Hindu, whatever.
Yeah, so
they all come
Singapore,
together and they're all Singaporean. And I think they really understand that, and they come together and they celebrate it in the holidays, in their culture, in their art.
Yeah.
And even the architecture. And
Singapore's art scene is quite good too.
Oh yeah, Singapore art scene is fantastic.
Well, you were a theater actor when you were there, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is that they have heavy censorship. But in terms of startups, like you were with me in Hong Kong for the Third Culture Film Festival.
Right.
And I would say that kind of startup art scene, indie scene, is so much easier in Singapore because the government is so supportive of it. Of course, you'll get the restrictions, which is difficult. But, you know, so many things. If you were in Singapore right now, I would just say, you know, comply, get started, and then you can go from there. And you can always then go somewhere else that's more receptive, but you always need that for a start. You know?
That makes sense. And actually, one of the things I was working on is, so I work in TV now, and the Singaporean government, they actually really support creativity. They put out a thing supporting VR stories.
So what do you do in
so
TV
they would fund stories if you're a journalist or storyteller and you want to tell something in VR. So what I do is
that's not fiction. That's fact. So it's factual.
No, you can do both. So anytime you have a story, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, they'll put in some money for it because they want to do augmented reality, virtual reality. They want to push these technologies forward. The problem is like whether people have the money or the incentive or the gadgets to even do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So that's why they want to, just inject some money into that space. So anyways, what I do is when I was in LA, I worked a lot in film development. So reading a lot of scripts. 120 pages. If it's a bad script, it is painful to read.
That's a full script, 120 pages.
Yeah, I mean 2 hours, so it's like 1 page per.
They say 1 page a minute
in general. So, like comedy should do 90, so it should be a 90-page script. Drama generally like 120. So I used to do a lot of that. Read a story and think about how do I make it more marketable, commercial, like. What directors would work well with this, what the style should be of the film, what actors will work well in this role. So that's what I used to do. Creative, but I never saw myself as a creative. I always saw myself as the person who molds creative, so like the business side of things.
You know what I think is it's actually quite a fascinating position is sometimes a lot of creatives, they don't know how to sell themselves or explain their work. And a lot of business people sometimes don't know how to relate to the creatives. And so I think you need those people in between.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of creatives, I'd say this to a lot of, you know, aspiring young or, you know, indie artists. If you know that you don't have that business side of you don't have that social aspect, you can spend time trying to develop it, but I think it's so much faster to try to find someone that appreciates your work and then you work together. Yeah. Because having that person that can balance or understand your art, but then have that business social side is invaluable. And that's exactly what you do because now that's exactly what you're doing now for TV.
I mean, it's just realizing what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. And being able to find all of those in someone else too, where you know you're stronger together than on your own. Because none of us are good at, we're not good at everything ourselves. Like, we can't do everything ourselves. So I know that for me, my creativity is lacking, but I'm still kind of like that middle ground in between of like business with creative.
And then what's the ultimate goal then for you?
God knows. Why are you asking me that question?
I will come.
5 years from now, where do you see yourself? I don't fucking know.
I will come
Life
back to
has
this.
spun me around in the past 5 years. Just in the past 5 years, I've had homes in 3 different countries. I had no idea I was even going to come to London. I decided to come to London in the span of 3 days. Like, life takes so many twists and turns. I wasn't expecting to get kicked out of America. That was a shock to me. Like, it's just more so because all these shocking things happen that I didn't expect. You have to say, like, I have no idea what's going to happen to me next, but I'm going to roll with it.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that question later. But one thing,
We've
in terms of
digressed
personal philosophy,
Okay.
do you believe people should go with the flow more, or people should sort of force the agenda towards their goals and their dreams?
Neither.
Neither.
You should have an agenda. You should have long-term goals that you work towards. But if something happens along the way, you should be able to go with the flow and be able to be agile and flexible and see what the best path forward is, because that is constantly changing. And the smartest people in the world are the ones that are the most adaptive to their environments.
You're going to quote Bruce Lee now, aren't you, and say be water?
No.
Well, you should.
Okay, well you're doing that. You should be water.
There you go.
Wait, I was talking to one of our friends, Olivia. It's like, you're a coconut.
How's she a coconut? Olivia's a coconut.
It could be hard on the wait, no, or she's the opposite. Is she an avocado or a coconut? So basically, hard on the inside or hard on the outside.
Yeah.
So if you're hard on the outside, you might be super soft on the inside. But if you're an avocado, you're hard on the inside.
That's a very strange, yeah. I mean, I've heard the banana. The banana.
No, I'm a
and the
banana.
egg.
That's a culture.
Well, because I've heard I'm an egg.
Why? What kind of scrambled, boiled, poached? What kind of egg?
No, hard boiled.
You're hard boiled.
Because I do. Apparently, I look. Depends how heavy my tan is. I can be a white guy. But then in my center, I love Asia.
Have you seen Gudetama?
No, what's that?
It's the depressed egg yolk. That's a big, it's the biggest range in Japan.
That's like an anime.
Yeah, it's a lazy egg yolk. Okay, we'll have to watch this some
Okay,
other
we're gonna
time.
check
But if
that out.
anyone knows Gudetama, give me a shout because I love Gudetama.
Okay, and then moving on from that, this is something I did want to ask you, because we're both upset by this. And I have brought this up, I think, on almost every single podcast that I've done so far.
Okay.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh my god.
It's not out in London until November.
No.
Oh, you found a special screening though?
No.
Oh, really?
No, it was supposed to come out, I think it was November 9th. But I think they realized that the community needs it, and they need it now, because they've been waiting their entire lives. I'm sorry, I know Joy Luck Club came out
20 years
before
ago.
the 2000s. So
Yeah.
okay, there's no way. I haven't seen the Joy Luck Club. It's not in my cultural vocabulary. It's not a part of my life. My whole life I've been growing up watching people of a different race be the main character. I've always been the sideline. So Crazy Rich Asians, I need it now.
Did you feel the same? Because a lot of people were saying that when Wonder Woman came out, and it was like a very powerful and very attractive female heroine. So this is a similar thing, but culturally.
Yeah. When I first saw Wonder Woman, that's when I realized this is why guys love action movies so much. It's because you're seeing yourself be a badass. So I never connected with action movies because I'm like, it's a guy being like badass, like awesome, good for you. It wasn't until I saw Gal Gadot just killing it. I mean, that's awesome. It's like seeing yourself, projecting yourself in there in some ways. But Crazy Rich Asians, it's not just important culturally, it's also educating the West on this developing lifestyle in Asia that's not quite known to them. How, for example, did you know that Hong Kong just overtook New York for the most ultra high net worth individuals in the world? Hong Kong just overtook New York. What does that say? Like, you just don't realize it, but like the wealth in Asia is just growing so much. If you look at China, there's what is it, 1.3, 1.4 billion people?
Yeah, 1.5,
India, 1.5 now.
Yeah.
India, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just
very interesting.
progress.
But Joy Luck Club was a very, from what I know,
Did you watch it?
I think so. I
didn't stick.
I remember it didn't stick.
Did you like it?
I was quite young.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't relate. You know.
What's it about?
I swear there was stuff about there was I think there was stuff about I think it was about women and their mothers and relating to their mothers and the culture that their mothers had gone through, and and
I can see
and
how
I
that's
think
emotional.
there was cultural stuff like feet binding and things like that. You know how women would keep their
So
feet
that was
smooth
the
and-
previous generation's Crazy Rich Asian, whereas this is
Well,
our
well,
generation.
no, so that's what I was gonna say. So that one was very cultural. It was very like family oriented, and it had a very strong and beautiful message. But Crazy Rich Asians is about crazy rich Asians. Is that a good? Is this the film that we're like, yeah, boom, Asians on the scene, and then it's like,
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just
Because
playing the devil's advocate.
yeah. Because the culture has changed today. The international Asian kids tend to be that type.
So
I
it's
think
just, it's truthful.
It's adapting to the times, and I think at the end of the day, to see Asians portrayed, just in the main role, like that's so powerful. And
So there's
did you hear the song Yellow?
yeah.
The Mandarin cover. Okay, so this is how big of an effect. Like if you're oppressed your whole life, and you see something that suddenly comes out. When I first heard Yellow, but the Mandarin cover of the Coldplay song, I was bawling my eyes out.
Why though?
Because I always listened to that Coldplay song growing up and being like, it's so beautiful, but I don't think Coldplay, they know what they're saying. They don't know what yellow means to me. They didn't understand, I felt like they didn't understand, like, that it felt like they were singing about me and my race, but portraying it in a beautiful light, in a beautiful way. And see, I'm getting emotional. And so to hear the Mandarin version of it, it was like someone recognized those same aspects that I saw in the song and brought it out. Because I always liked it for what it meant to me. Other people liked it for pop song reasons. But I knew that my reasons for liking it were different.
And then now this one was just purely.
Yeah, he recognized it.
Then
I don't know if I explained that well. That was rambling.
So, is there a reason to be concerned, or is there like how? I'm just curious how the future might look, because Crazy Rich Asians is sort of made by Asians with Asians, kind of for Asians, but also the rest of the world.
No, it's accessible.
It's accessible. See, that's what I think is one of the best things about this film that I've heard, and I'm very keen to see it, is that it's actually accessible to everyone. Which brings me to my next thing. When Avengers came out, not Avengers.
I don't watch Avengers.
No, what's the one with the family and their superhero
Incredibles?
family? Incredibles.
2?
So Incredibles 2 came out.
Yeah, it took 10 years.
And there was a short before the movie.
Oh, okay.
And have you seen it?
No, I have not. What's it called?
Okay, there's a short before the movie. The name escapes me for the moment, but it was about a mother who creates a dumpling, right? And the
I saw that on YouTube.
yeah. So you watched it?
Yeah, of course.
Now I was really interested because there was a big thing on social media about it, and all these sort of there's a big number. There's a large number of Western families that watched this film and didn't get it and thought it was ridiculous.
Wait, why?
Meanwhile-
Why did they think it was ridiculous?
Because they were like, why is she eating her son? And it's like, this is like very silly. Meanwhile, almost every Asian person that watched it and commented was talking about how it reminded them of their relationship with their mother, how much they cried during it, how much it and there was some very interesting comments on it on social media, because people were saying like, look how intolerant or unopen to other cultures some people are. And
it's not intolerance though. That makes me angry.
Why does it make you angry?
Because it's not intolerance when you didn't grow up in that culture and you don't understand it. And so I think to say that they're intolerant is intolerant because you don't understand that that's not what they were exposed to. It's not something they understand.
So if they don't get it and they just laugh at it.
If they don't get it, it's
Then
because
it's whatever.
it's because they don't have the building blocks to understand it. It's, for example, like people.
So how do we get them there?
Like, you don't have to. There are always going to be people that are like that, and it's just being tolerant of them and understanding that they come from a different world from you.
So don't you think we should be striving to don't you think exposure is better to have more
Exposure
access to it?
is better. Yep.
That's what I mean. Like,
But
I mean, there's
you
a
have to-
reason why, because you've never seen it. But if it's around more, and then you choose not to, is another option.
Yeah. So I think what you need in this moment is an artist who can straddle between the different cultures. So, for example, one of the reasons why I love Jordan Peele so much, so much, is because, you know, to go from Key and Peele, he can do comedy. But he realized that with Get Out, he's always had a fascination with horror. It's because at the end of the day, it's understanding how to get that emotion out of the audience. And so with Get Out, he got that reaction with like comedy, with horror, with making people feel something. But he was always conscious of what it feels like to watch it as a white person.
Interesting.
What it feels like to watch as a black person. And so the way that he creates his art is so not only self-conscious, but like aware of everyone around him and everything. And especially because he went from Get Out to doing the new movie Black Klansman,
which you've seen and I haven't seen.
which I just watched last night, and you're gonna have to see it.
So you recommend it then?
It's an important film. It's a very important film for America at this point in time.
Now we had an interesting chat on this because I saw the trailer and I thought it was a comedy. I thought it was it's a comedy with a very interesting point, except the fact that it's also based on a true story.
Yeah.
But then you watched it and you told me it's actually a lot more serious than the trailer portrays.
It is funny. It's a funny movie, but funny is not the main thing. It's more heavy and emotional and smart. And it's like witty and kind of cheeky at times, but that's because the subject matter is so dark that you need those points to kind of lighten it up. And Denzel Washington's son did a great job of it. Adam Driver is an excellent actor, as always. I don't expect anything less of Adam Driver. But because the subject is just so dark. You need, like, injections of humor. Like, when we watched the trailer, what was the first song that came on?
I don't remember.
It was like
Oh, it's very light.
set up like a comedy kind of tone. And the friend that I watched Black Klansman with, she said she thought it was going to be a comedy. And she came out being like, wow, I wasn't expecting it to feel so heavy. And because I didn't see the trailer,
you were more open.
Yeah, I was
had no
more open.
expectations.
I was just kind of like, just Spike Lee, guide me to whatever emotions you want me to feel. Because I knew I was going to watch it. Like, when I know I want to watch a movie, I won't watch the trailer because I wouldn't be surprised.
So do you think that's a smart trailer, or do you think it's misleading? I mean, you know, if you're going to deal with a heavy subject but you still want people to go, maybe it's a very good trailer.
I think
because maybe people will be grateful after.
Because at the end of the day, what happens is comedy makes things accessible. If you want to change people's minds, you don't change their minds by yelling at them and telling them, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You tell them through comedy, where you lighten the mood, and when people are light, they're more open to ideas. So that's something that Trevor Noah preaches.
That's fascinating, because I think we talked about this on another podcast with another friend about one of the things I love being in England is their sense of humor, which I feel that America is sort of lacking a little bit more nowadays. Because you have some people like Trevor Noah that say that kind of thing. But in general, I do feel America's getting quite sensitive, and I feel like England has always been very good at we can make a joke about anything.
Yeah, you'll put anyone down and they're totally okay with it. They realize like you can put someone in their place.
Yeah, and I think like you said, it's a great way to deal with heavy subjects. Yeah. Because it avoids things from festering. You know, from like, you know, I'm not going to say it, and then I don't. You know, I might be thinking it, but not a very big percentage of me is thinking it, and now I can't say it, it's growing. Whereas I just get it out there, and it's like, it's not that bad, just a joke about it. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right, I didn't think of it from that. But we couldn't have talked about it unless you made a joke.
I think to do comedy about something, if you make a joke about anything, it shows that you accept it in some ways. It's like accepting it and being so comfortable with it that you can allow yourself to make a joke of it. So, because I work in TV, I see a bunch of the different shows that are happening around like Europe and the world. I think this is the Netherlands or somewhere where they did a show. It's a stand-up comedy show. A guy's go to the front. He picks a disability. So this entire show, everyone's missing a limb. Like, that's what he picked for the show. And the entire stand-up, the whole time, he's making jokes about people who are missing limbs. And you see how grateful they are to be, like, accepted and treated like human beings. Like, oh, you can still laugh at your life because it's normal. Like, this is you, and it's fine, and it's totally okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, but you see how grateful they are to be just treated as a normal person instead of being like, oh, it's a touchy thing. I shouldn't bring this up. Like, they're just accepted rather than people being like, oh, I should be wary of saying this around you. To have someone be like, oh, no, this is you, and like, you're great, and I can laugh at you, and you can laugh at you. Like, that's the whole point of it, and I thought it was beautiful. I don't think it'll work in Asia, but it worked really well in Europe, and I think it's gonna...
And is it your job to sell these things?
So I sell shows that are finished, so UK and US shows, and then I also sell, like, I'll sell them to broadcasters around Asia, like Hong Kong, China, India, Philippines, Thailand. And another thing I do is, if I see a show and it has a really interesting format, we'll sell that to a country and they'll adapt it to their own culture. So one of the things is, do you know RuPaul's Drag Race?
Yes.
Yeah, so I saw RuPaul's Drag Race, and recently Drag Race Thailand happened. Because you know Thai?
Yeah, of course.
So it was like a natural progression into Thailand, but I'm kind of thinking now, like, where else?
But they're not, I guess you can't rip it off because...
No, you buy it. Okay. You're not ripping it off because you buy it. So it's like your own version, and you have to stick to certain rules, but you license it so you're allowed to use the same. Yeah. But where else would it happen besides Thailand? Nowhere. Actually, India just reversed.
The Thai one's going to blow up. They're going to be super talented. I remember watching. I watched RuPaul's Drag Race with several of my friends. They watched it quite regularly in Singapore.
Really? Are they straight or gay or male, female? I'm curious.
Most were gay, some were female, and some were straight.
Straight guys watching it?
Yeah, straight guys watching it.
Okay.
I'm straight, I watched it.
Yeah.
One of the things that
it feels like that.
One of the things that when we watched it, we were so blown away by was how multi-talented these guys are.
Yes, thank you.
You know,
comedy queens, fashion,
comedy,
makeup,
what they can create is insane.
Yeah.
Insane. Their makeup, then they gotta strut it. You know, it's not like you make it for someone else that's like, it's like they do
makeup,
everything.
Dance, model, dance, sing, comedy. Like, who does that? If you can find... It's almost like a superhuman talent show, isn't it?
It is. There's no other talent show that's like...
It doesn't need to be just guys, because like, if you find a girl, like, that's equally impressive. If you find a girl who can do walk, fashion, talk, personality, comedy, and what else am I missing? Makeup. And I guess it's more common for a girl to be good at those things, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
very impressive.
It was fun, and it was definitely fun watching it with these friends that would give me so much more inside knowledge about you know how things happen and things like that. And then there's also a behind the scenes one. I forgot what it's called. There's like a behind the scenes series on RuPaul's Drag Race where you see them and they go at each other, and that is so entertaining.
Untucked?
Untucked, that's it.
I haven't watched Untucked.
Untucked is so good. Untucked is so entertaining.
Really?
Yeah, because they really just like, how could you do that to me?
Oh, it's like a really catty one.
Yeah, because it's like all. I mean, they would let loose because it's.
Wait, I don't like that because I think RuPaul it's all about supporting each other.
Yeah, but I mean, what about the reality as well, though? Right, it's still a competition, you know. Okay, going back. What about the thing? I don't know how to say it. The thing that's out there.
What thing?
That, because we're talking about Crazy Rich Asians. What about the thing that's out there that Asian men cannot be sexy? You must have heard this thing.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's a lie that's been fed to me my whole life.
But why do you think that is? What you think?
It's not true.
No, I know.
It's not true.
Of course, I would.
But it's a lie that I've been fed. I fed my whole life.
So
that's wrong.
My point is, do you think it comes from the fact that Asian men don't get leading roles? Because whenever you do, like in popular culture, see an Asian man, he's either like the friend, the geek, or like the nerdy one, and you never see them like take hero roles and like that. And so that perpetuates this thing of, well, then Asian men can't be sexy. And also because, maybe it's because of the cultural, I mean, I can only speak from where I'm from Hong Kong, that they push the doctor, lawyer, banker.
Yeah.
They push certain professions.
It's hard because what the problem is that sexy is different for every culture.
For different cultures.
Like if you look at the people that Chinese people find attractive in China, my God, I think they look like women. It's really unattractive to me. So obviously I have a more Western mindset when it comes to like what I find attractive.
Why
I don't
is that?
have that
Is
Eastern
that because you're exposed to more popular culture stuff? Where do you think that comes from? That's what I mean.
Right.
Mm.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, I did go from Hong Kong to America when I was 13. Right? Was that right?
Because I feel like maybe you're already. Because I felt the same growing up, that I was already so drawn to American culture growing up in Hong Kong.
But American culture is also. This is one thing. American culture is more international. So since moving to London, one of the things I realized is that they're so insulated here because they think I'm so American. And I look at them and I'm like, I'm not American at all. I'm international. Like there's a big difference. And American culture is international culture. No, American culture is a big facet of international culture, whereas international understands mostly American, but also a lot of other different things. Mm-hmm. So, American's international, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think from a guy's perspective, especially the way I grew up, I feel it's slightly different because my heroes, especially in action films, were like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and of course Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee was the baddest of them all.
Yeah.
So it's like I always had this. Well, of course, Asians are badass. Look at Bruce Lee, and he's like the king.
Really?
So.
Oh, so it's who your heroes are.
It could be.
Who are my heroes? Mila Kunis. I'm just in.
But Mila Kunis is recent. Mila Kunis wasn't when you were growing up.
I'm trying to remember who I was a fan of growing up. That's a good question. It wasn't Mila. Oh no! I know who my idol was.
Huh.
That's a weird one.
Okay, we'll keep that one. We'll discuss that one later. And I was going to ask you, okay, so then another question that I had for you, which we did ask originally. Now we've gone back full circle.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about the Oscars having the popular film category?
No.
No, you said something fascinating, and I do want you to hit that wave again, where you said that art needs to stand up for itself.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Oscars over the years, they've broken out into so many categories. Like if you look at, like back in the day, they didn't have best animated feature. They didn't have best animated movie at all. Mm-hmm. And before that existed, animated films would be nominated for Best Picture. Because you can still be an excellent film. You can still be an excellent film and still be in that popular category. Mm-hmm. Like in the animated, like whatever category it is. It's like how you wouldn't create an Oscar for Best Drama or Best Comedy, because if you're a good film, you're a good film. And people should recognize that. Mm-hmm. I think right now, the Oscars, they're trying too hard. They're losing viewers. And one of the biggest reasons why, I think, is because we live in this world where it's fast-paced, frenetic. You can't have a 5-hour telecast. So the fact that they're cutting it down to 3, helps. But you still need that pace. And they don't have pace.
Okay. Once again, being the
Devil's advocate.
the red avocado. But people have different needs, different tastes. There are times
That's
where there are times that I want an artsy film. There are times that I want my popcorn films.
Yeah.
And if you make
like both.
a massive high budget and the acting is incredible and the CGI is amazing, you make this incredibly popular film, that is never going to get recognized because it's on a different art scale. So don't you think they deserve something? There's so much artistry, effort, energy's gone into it.
There is artistry to it. If you look at,
So where
for
does it get
example,
honored?
like Mad Max still got nominated for so many different categories. Like you can have, I think in the future, you still can have someone be nominated for Best Actor, Best Actress. You can still have Best Writing even, or Best Adapted Screenplay from a comic book, and maybe eventually Best Picture, but that might take some time. You can still have that because the art form there, it's getting towards there. It still has a ways to go, but I feel like almost with the Oscars, the way it went almost too artsy with the Best Picture category is because pop, like big blockbuster films, it's a reaction to it. So it's kind of splitting up in this way.
Yeah.
It's a reaction to big blockbustery movies where the audience is being segmented into I like art, I'm a purist, to I like action, blah, blah, blah. But eventually it's going to come right back.
I mean, I hope
Someone's
so.
going to find that balance between the two, like, opposite spectrums.
I mean, I hope so because I do. There's a difference between winning film at Cannes, and then winning, best MTV movie.
Still an accomplishment, but
Yeah, no, massive
so
accomplishments.
different.
But I think they should be different award ceremonies.
But then
Oscars originated as a art film, no? As
And it
celebrating film.
it is art, and well, so how would you categorize Black Panther then?
I think Black Panther should be nominated for best film. Full stop. Right.
See, I
Just
think it's so-
don't diminish it by going, well, it's a great film, but it's only great in a popular film, right? But would a film be able to win both? Could it
I
be
think so.
popular? Like, what if it's
I think
Titanic? What if it's
eventually-
Titanic? Could it be popular and,
So you're saying it should be one popular and one drama?
Oh no, but the it's not drama though, is it? Because it could be anything. It could be comedy, thriller.
No comedy has ever won an Oscar like that.
That's true.
And like in general it's always drama, like really serious. Like Moonlight was last year's.
Well, that was 2 years ago, no?
2 years ago. What was last year's again?
I thought it was the Billboards one.
Oh yeah.
The
Shit, I
Billboards.
skipped a year.
But yeah, I mean sometimes you get thriller. Didn't like Hannibal or Silence of the Lambs win?
Yeah, but that's also really rare. So
Sometimes
there's
you
so
get
many exceptions.
Epics.
I mean, Lord of the Rings also that was really rare. Like fantasy rarely goes into that category.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get comedy. I mean, the fact that even Jordan, well, this is Golden Globes, but the fact that they called Jordan Peele's Get Out a comedy, that's weird to me.
No, I
I
think
was
that's fine
rooting
because
for it the whole
that's a dark
time.
comedy.
You think
it's fine?
It is a dark comedy, but like I wanted it to get Best Picture so badly, and I felt like because of the comedic elements that people kind of like shut it down a little bit.
Did Truman Show ever win? Did Truman Show win Best Picture?
1991.
Because that was similar vibes, right? That was like, it's a comedy, but like, wow, it had a poignant message.
I have no idea, but I'm sure it got nom for at least a couple things.
Yeah.
I personally, just my opinion, I don't think the Oscars should have a popular film. What is it? What are they going to call it?
Popular film category.
Popular film
Most
category.
popular film, yes.
See, I'm cringing so hard, like down to the core, because I think to say something's an Oscar is so contradictory to what a popular movie is, because a popular movie is for the masses, and maybe they're not the types to like critically analyze a film. in the same way that these people who really like love art and live and breathe art, the way that they watch film is so different from how these people watch film. I just think it doesn't make sense to me. And
yeah, I mean, I feel you. Like for
know.
example, for me, a good example would be something like, let's say, like Schindler's List, right?
Yes.
Which is absolutely incredible
Stunning.
film, but it's not your popcorn film, right?
It's not.
But it's a massive. It's almost like a landmark movie. But the thing is, like, it could still be watched by millions.
Yes.
But it's just not. I don't know how to.
You know what I think? The Oscars. Okay. Branding wise, coming from a marketing perspective, Oscars is art. If you want something where popular movies are being recognized, you need something that is called something completely different, because Oscars will always be synonymous with art. So I don't know what this other thing is going to be called, like Comic-Con Awards, whatever. It needs.
But don't you think? But that's what I mean. Don't
direction.
you think it diminishes it?
No, because you can like. Okay, I love X-Men.
But I think I'm agreeing with you, because you're saying keep the best film.
Yes.
And if a popular film is the best film, then give it that title.
Yes.
Don't put it on a par.
No, don't put it in a genre. If it's a best film, so for example, like if you have this whole other award show for The Scoring Space, like the way that people edit, the way that people tell different stories, even in franchises, the way that they continue the story, there are so many more other things that you can recognize it for that are different to what these really serious artsy movies are recognized for.
But what's the goal with this? The goal is they're trying to get more views, people to watch it. Are people not watching the Oscars anymore?
But it's too long. I agreed. I didn't watch the Oscars.
Oh, yeah.
I just read it the next day.
So that's my point.
I couldn't even bother.
Okay, but that's my point. That the people watching the Oscars isn't because there's a lack of category.
I see.
Right? It's because the internet's so good. Because nobody needs to tune in live anymore.
But my point is, I love the Oscars.
Yeah.
Even if you added the popular picture cast, I will still not watch the Oscars. I'm still not going to watch it. You're not speaking to the right audience by adding that, because you're actually alienating the right audience. And I feel like they have a branding problem. Do something else if you want a popular picture category. Like, it should be something completely separate from the Oscars. Oscars Best Picture, how does that make sense? That's like the antithesis of what it's the antithesis of what a popular film is. Mm-hmm. It should not be acceptable to the masses, because perhaps the masses don't understand it, and that's perfectly okay. Like, I can still, watch a summer movie. I still love, X-Men. What else do I like? Just X-Men.
Marvel?
Just not really.
DC?
No, I don't like it.
Anime?
No. I like animated movies and X-Men, and that's about it. But anyways, I can still appreciate it, and the artistry that goes behind coordinating stunts. I did like.
Well, I was going to say that was another thing I was going to bring up, and I brought this up on. I brought this up with some of my when my stunt friend was on here.
Yeah.
That Oscars don't have a stunt category. They've opened up.
It should not be in the Oscar. It should not be in the Oscar.
Why is that?
Because that's not a part of what the Oscars are. It should be something separate.
But isn't doing stunts an artistic form?
It is an artistic form.
And isn't this the highest platform?
You need. I really think it needs a different name. I really think it should be separated, because Oscar is.
You mean not different name, just not welcome at this ceremony?
No, I think it should be recognized.
So it should be recognized at this ceremony?
Not at the ceremony, because you're not being celebrated to that high level.
Why not, though? This is people dedicated their lives to martial art, right?
You're saying there should be an Oscar for stunts?
I think so.
I think you're saying that because you've done a couple yourself.
No. I mean, I know stunt guys, and I think what they do is absolutely incredible. They dedicate their lives to it. So many action films completely reliant on them. Mm-hmm. And you have guys that specialize in stunt directing. I mean, I've been on action sets, and when you have a lot of action, the directing of those scenes goes over to the action director.
Yep.
it's then his movie, but he's not recognized. The stunt guys aren't recognized. The choreography is not recognized.
So what I'm saying is that the Oscars, to me, is drama. It will always be drama. And right now, in the past maybe like decade or so, there's been such a huge split in terms of what people watch. So I think it's split into like really dramatic artsy and really like action, Marvel stuff.
I understand
I
what
think
you're saying.
Oscars owns this category.
I see what you're saying.
Something else needs to own this category because, and sometimes they're gonna meet in the middle.
I see
But
what you're
at the end of the day, like you're going to have, it's like liberal, conservative, people are kind of going out in separate directions,
So-
and it's almost
So, for example, there are
fragmented.
like if you do a horror film,
Yeah.
you almost know you're not going to win an Oscar.
No,
Right.
but, if there's a horror
there
awards,
are horror. I know there are. I just can't. I don't know
Exactly,
the names.
and that is
that
the
is
highest,
the thing that you go for.
That is the highest honor. You don't want the Oscar. That doesn't give you the satisfaction. But if you do it in this focused category where you know that those people know what they're talking about and they know your category well, that is much more personally gratifying.
Interesting. So maybe the Oscars is losing its identity then.
No, it's not. It should.
By accepting, that's what I'm saying.
It should not do that because it
would
yeah.
lose its identity.
Well, is it confirmed to happen? Fuck that.
Yeah.
If it does, it honestly is losing its identity and it's losing the audience that cares about it the most.
Interesting.
Which is me.
Interesting.
Oh, did I tell you I have free tickets to Picture House Cinema?
What's that?
Picture House Central. It's like a movie theater in Piccadilly because coming from LA, it sounds like I'm bragging, never mind. But basically, in the entertainment industry, they did this thing where they asked people to submit, like, who do you think is going to win the Oscars? And I got the most correct out of
that's
everyone.
amazing.
So I have VIP membership and free tickets.
Wait, and so what are you going to go see?
I just watched Black Klansman last night. But
Oh, so it's like a membership.
Well, no, I won it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
So
get free movies
for how long?
for a year, and it's coming up on its end.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Why haven't you been going every day?
Because it's been summer, and it's been shit movies in the summer. Well, the only one movie that I didn't see that I'm pissed off about is A Quiet Place with John Krasinski.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I
Loved
know. Well, it's just summer is not a movie time for me because I'm not very blockbustery or action.
It's
I'm more...
hard for me because I crush on her. I do.
Huh?
It's hard for me because I crush on her and.
Crush on who?
Emily Blunt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you can't watch John Krasinski. You know how he's Jack Ryan now?
I know.
It's crazy it went from Jim in the Office
Oh my god, it's amazing.
to Jack Ryan?
He did.
What?
He did a interview with Stephen Colbert, and
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert just rips him apart.
I need to see it.
It's so.
I
good.
need to see it.
I'll show you.
Okay.
After. I really do.
Put a note down.
I need an
Yeah,
assistant.
keep
I need to
talking.
we need to bring up the videos and you can
Yeah,
react to
yeah.
them. That will be if you guys like and subscribe. I will be able to upgrade. I upgraded with the mic for you. We're gonna upgrade the background, and if you help me out a bit, then I can get we can do some multimedia stuff. Another one I should say you should watch to support Asians is Searching. I watched that.
Oh, John
Cho.
Cho.
And he is fantastic. The thing that I loved about this film is from an indie point of view as well, is how smart they made this
Really?
film because it's all done. So much is based on using his webcam,
Wait, so
using the desktop.
I heard you're like watching his computer and what
A
he
lot
does.
of it, a lot of
So
it.
do you see him in a corner? So you see like his facial reactions to what he's doing, or
Yeah.
how does that work?
Yeah, you watch it as if you're watching his webcam. You're watching it as if you're Skyping him for a lot of the movie.
It's quite interesting.
Actually, almost all the movie
like-
is captured on some sort of social media
I like
device.
that they're doing it in different points of view now. People are experimenting with.
Yeah. So I
technology.
think the
Like,
only other
what
times
was it?
aren't
Hardcore?
is they're filmed, but it's like you're watching news clips on a computer. So it wouldn't. It's all kept
do you
in
mean?
this. So.
Oh, is it literally the computer screen the whole time? No, it can't be.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean everything. Nothing is ever filmed like a traditional film. Everything is filmed either from the webcam or from like a phone, or if you see, let's say they interview let's say you see something on the news, you're not watching it as if it's a news broadcast, you're watching it as if it's a news broadcast being watched on a computer. Does that make sense?
Sorry. What? Yeah.
So let's say you're watching like CNN.
Yeah.
Right? You're not watching CNN, you're watching CNN on a computer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I like sort of like.
Yes. Dragged,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting a little drunk because
Okay,
I just had this bottle.
It's okay.
Did you want some?
We need to take advantage to get the truth out.
Oh god. No, it comes out anyways. It just blurs.
Okay, going back to your original thing, one of the things I did want to talk about is you're also, apart from this thing that you do with film, you're also, in my opinion at least, a very talented photographer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you do that.
I'm just starting out, but I think I grew up always loving photography. And I never had an outlet until this past year when I came back to Hong Kong, was directionless after LA, and didn't know what to do with myself. So started building up skills there.
So one of the things I wanted to ask is a lot of people find themselves in the position where they have a 9 to 5 or they have a job that they're kind of into, but they also have these hobbies or passions or things that they might want to take to the next level. How do you find the balance between doing your job, having your social life, having your regular life, and having passions and seeing if you can develop those or seeing if you want to develop those?
Well, first of all, it's recognizing what you're passionate about. And if you have passion for something, it's not about energy or 9 to 5. It's because you want to do it, like no matter how tired you are. That's what fuels you. So for example, like I work so much, but at the end of the day, even when I'm tired, I'm so excited to go swimming. I'm so excited. Oh, sorry. Oh, we're talking about photography. I'm so excited to go take photos.
She used to be a swimmer as well. Still is.
No.
Still is.
What?
You are.
What do you mean I was?
I said is.
Oh, God.
I corrected
But anyways,
immediately.
it's like, because I care so much about this, I will go home, watch YouTube videos, look at other Instagram photographers' photos. It's because it's cool and like I know, even though I'm a beginner, I know everyone starts somewhere. And when you care and you know you can improve, well, when you care, you will naturally improve.
Now, we had this little conversation today. I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm scared.
Because there are some people out there who I think have very similar issue to the one you have right now.
Which one?
Which is
I have so many issues. Which issue are you talking about?
Your photography issue, in that you aren't entirely sure of your direction and your brand.
Yep.
So how are you going about sort of experimenting with that or looking to try to solve that?
I think at the end of the day, what it is me understanding who I am. And the hard thing is that who I am, there's so many different sides of me. There's a me that loves doing makeup and being girly and dressing up. There's a me that, like, for example...
I've not really seen that side of you.
You haven't, because I've been super chill with you. But that is me. And then there's a sporty side of me, and there's the artsy side of me of photography. And for me, with photography, I like being in front and behind the camera. And then triathlons. Like, it's just, I'm so all over the place. And you know what? Fuck it. Like, I am all over the place. And maybe that is my brand, you know? Like, I can do nature photography. I can do portrait photography. I do event photography well, even though I do get a little too drunk when I do event photography. But
so you should do sober events.
No, I can't.
Sober events.
I would
this
not.
Is your girl.
I don't want to do it.
Force her.
You can
make her an offer she can't refuse.
No, you just have to pay me extra if you want me to be sober, and it's a lot extra because it's not going to happen.
Okay.
But you know what? I think
an honest
it's
photographer.
Embracing who you are and realizing like what you do best in. So some people, I feel like they're really one-dimensional. They will just do nature, and honestly, it's great. Like your Instagram feed's so consistent. I know that that's not me, and I'm not going to pursue that. I just decided I talk myself into not being, I can't be consistent. I will do blocks and chunks, but I can do everything, and I will show you that I can do everything.
You know Gary Vee?
No.
Gary Vee is a great speaker on, he does Instagram, YouTube, he's a very good...
Is it like motivational speaker?
Motivational and you goal setting and things like that. And one of the things that I love about him is his delivery is, he'll swear at you and he's just directly to the point. And one of the points that he made that stuck with me the other day, or stuck with me a while ago, but he does bang it out because it's quite important. He says, whatever you choose. And I remember there was this one guy stood up in one of his seminars and he said, Gary, we're talking about success and all of that stuff, but he goes, I don't want to spend like so much time in the office or whatever. I want to have a life too. And Gary was like, that's cool. Like whatever you choose. Like if you want to be super rich and you're willing to work your ass for it, that's one thing. But if you want all these other things and then you don't end up having a multi-million-dollar company, just don't bitch about it, right?
Yeah.
Like understand what's the choice and then live there.
Yeah.
But don't live a certain way and then wish for the life that you didn't work for.
Exactly.
So I think understanding and knowing yourself is so key.
It's self-awareness, because at the end of the day, like, what makes us happy, it's different for every single person. And part of growing up is understanding who you are, what makes you happy, and it's a learning process, because one of the worst things is that we get trapped in what society tells us will make us happy when it's an individual thing. Like society tries to tell us, like, you have to be rich, you have to be good looking, you have to do this, do that, and that's not true. That doesn't make people happy when they're like lying to themselves. It's like they're accepting what other people are telling them, when you should be listening to you.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be listening to other people. You should be listening to you.
There's this great quote that keeps popping up on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I believe it's from Roosevelt, and I'm going to get this wrong, but it's something about comparison is the thief of joy.
Yep.
I thought that was so good.
It is so true. Growing up with an Asian mom, all I was it damaged my fucking self-esteem to be raised by an Asian mom, because my entire life it was like...
Is your mom going to listen to this podcast?
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not? If I get through the right channels, will it get to her?
It will never get to her.
It will never get to her.
You can try.
Okay.
Do you want to try?
I know, I was thinking how I would do it. I'd probably hit up your brother.
I'll give you $100 if you get it. 100 quid? $100 is less than 100 quid. I'll give you $100 if you get it. It's not going to happen.
Is that a deal?
I'm that determined about it. It will never reach my Asian tiger mom.
Okay. Is that a deal? Should I go for it?
Okay.
Alright, fine, let's do it.
You'll fail.
Okay. I'm going to hit up your brother and he's going to do it out of vengeance.
No. Just won't happen. My brother's on my side. He'll never be on your side. Strong family.
Cool.
Because we were raised by a tiger mom. But yeah, she, like my entire life, she compared me to other people. And my whole life I felt I'm not significant, I'm not good enough. I have to be this, this, and this to be good enough. But if I were that, and that wouldn't make me happy. It would just make my mom happy. And I'm not living for her. To realize I was living for me, that's when I became happy. So I could only do that when I moved away from her. That's when I started becoming happy, because that's when I was like, oh, I'm living my life rather than living what she wants me to do.
But that's so tough too, because that's a parenting thing and that's a cultural thing too.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I accept it. I just don't want to be around it, which is why I'm in London. I have to get away from that because it's a toxic mindset where I won't change her.
Yeah.
She can be who she is, and I need to be who I am. And you need that distance.
Good.
From Tiger Mom.
There you go.
No Tiger Mom, please.
Any sons or daughters of tiger parents with any future questions or who can relate, please comment and share. and we'll definitely get Michelle back. So we can go on about that. I think it would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was one more thing I wanted to, because I mean on this podcast we do talk about everything that I'm passionate about, which is, so we were covering it.
Yeah.
You told me today you are thinking, or you're signed up already to do a half Ironman.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely insane. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, I think it's insane.
I have no doubt you're going to do it because you just completed, what, a London triathlon?
Well, the thing is, it sounds insane, but it's been a dream since I was 15.
That's amazing. Have you done the marathon yet?
I did a half.
Are you going to do the full?
Like, here's the thing. Full marathons are fucking horrible for your knees. So, to do 26 miles...
But Ironman is okay, isn't it?
Ironman... Well,
because Ironman's a full marathon as well.
Split into 3. No, an Ironman is a full marathon, but if you do a half Ironman, it's a half marathon.
So you wouldn't do a full
I would not do a full marathon because I think it's physically irresponsible. And there are people that do that, and there are people who do, for example, ultra marathon. So a marathon is 26 miles, right? So an ultra marathon is 52.
Yes.
And they'll wake up at 4 a.m. and do the course twice, but it's not.
Oh really? So
yeah.
I thought they were separate courses. I didn't realize they do it the actual course and they do it twice.
It's so bad for your knees. And so growing up, because I did so many sports, I always had shin splints, and I'm susceptible to hurting myself because I did so many sports at a young age that like maybe messed up my bones or whatever. But what was I saying? So since I was 15, I remember my teacher told me he did an Ironman. He did 3 Ironmans. And I didn't even know what an Ironman...
Ironmans or Ironman?
Ironman. And I didn't know...
You have 3 of them. Is it Ironmans?
No. It's like...
Or you've done 3 Ironmen?
You've done 3... No, Ironmans. Because and it's an Ironman. 2 is you've done Ironmans. So it's always Iron Man. Like it's not like it's not a noun. It's
together. It's a noun.
Yeah, it's just a name. It's a name, not a noun. So, anyways, I've never heard of swim, bike, run because I knew I was a swimmer, always a swimmer, and then I started getting good at ran for the first time in high school, and I was like, I'm pretty good at this.
Didn't you swim in college?
I started the swim club at USC because I can't believe they didn't have a swim club.
Shout out.
Hello, if anyone's... I highly doubt it.
Hey,
I think it's up and running.
You don't know.
I think it's up and running and doing well because... Anyway, sorry. So I never heard of swim, bike, run. And it was only until when I was 15 when I knew I had something to aspire to.
Mm-hmm.
And so from that age, from that day on, I built up my swimming, I built up my running. By the time I got to college, few throwaway years where all I did was drink, but I built the swim club. I did my first triathlon, did a bunch of duathlons, did more sprint triathlons, and it's been a process of working up. How long are triathlons,
roughly?
So basically, if you do there's sprint, Olympic, and then Ironman 70.3, and then full Ironman.
So Ironman is more than the Olympics. That's crazy.
So Olympic is actually, so it's sprint and Olympic.
Yeah.
Ironman is the 70.3 is actually a little bit above the Olympic, which is why I'm doing it. So I've worked my way up slowly because it's about confidence and understanding what I can do. So I did a ton of sprints. And I know, like, I'm comfortable, I can do this, I can do all 3.
What are the distances for the sprints?
Wait, hold on. Let me tell you Olympic, because that's the last one I did, the London triathlon, which I did. So the swimming portion is 1,500 meters swimming. So I think I did that in about 25, 26 minutes.
And that's the one you found easiest?
Actually, I do think Olympic is easier than sprint.
No, I mean the swimming portion.
Swimming, I'm a swimmer.
Yeah.
You've swum with me. Like, that's what I grew up doing.
And you just freestyle. Everyone freestyles.
Yeah, but when I need to breathe, sometimes I go on my back, and I'm, like, kind of lazy. But 1,500 meter swim, and then 40 kilometers bike ride, which is I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
The biking part is the longest part.
So did you buy your own bike for it?
Yeah, I bought it in January, but
is it a like a good bike for it? Because I imagine the bikes you use must make such an impact. So if you start taking it seriously, you have to invest more and more.
Well, I think that there's a spectrum. So if you go for lower end, it's like but once you get here, you pay incrementally more just for this much.
Oh wow.
So, for example, I would say thousand quid. You get that, and then for every 1,000 that you pay, you get like this like small upgrade.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you reach a certain point, and it's only small. But biking is my weakest one because I've never really done it before. But unfortunately, that is the one that makes the biggest difference in the race. So I'm looking for a trainer to kind of help me with biking.
Oh, interesting. Is that what they say? The bike makes up the biggest.
Swimming is the least, biking is the most, and running is like middle.
Yeah, because I imagine for you to be a minute faster in the pool is a lot of effort.
Yeah,
right?
And I'm already okay. Like I don't. So it's like 1,500 meters swim. So for example, I do it in 26 minutes, and then a 40-kilometer bike ride. I'm so bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
I do like an hour and a half, if not 2. So think about shaving 1 minute off 2 hours rather than shaving 1 minute off 26.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's catered towards bikers, which is unfair. So anyways, after the 40 kilometers bike ride, you do a 10K run, so 6 miles. And it's a weird transition going from biking to running. So all 3 sports work different muscles.
It's fascinating, actually.
So you can keep going.
you think it's all legs, but actually, because I was talking about this recently with some friends. It's like even running different distances works different. Like it's like sprinting.
Yeah, you're much more on your toes.
Exactly, it's
whereas
so
if you're
different
long distance,
to how I'm running. Yeah, in the 5K. Now the reason why I bring this up, and I do wish you the best, and we will definitely get you back here once you've completed your half Ironman. When is it?
If I complete.
When is it?
It's next July.
Oh yeah, you're gonna smash it. We'll definitely have you back before then.
So
we'll see with your progress. The reason why I wanted you to bring this up was because I've put it out there. You know, I talk. Almost everyone I've had is involved in training at some point because or does some sort of training because I do believe that having some sort of training is beneficial in your life no matter what. You know, whether you're doing it for a sport or for a goal, I think everyone should do some sort of training.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm asking you about this, because I find it so fascinating, is it's so different to the opposite end of the spectrum for the stuff that I do, which is very like power oriented, weightlifting. And the only thing that I could relate to is what we were talking about was when I was boxing. I remember, we would talk about why is it that we do these long runs when boxing is like 3 minutes break, 3 minutes break, 3 minutes. So why aren't we just doing high intensity all the time? And I was saying that when I did it, it's because while you're running, you learn how to push through and deal with pain. And that it's so much more of a mental thing, which is exactly what you said when you were doing it. It's mental.
So I built myself up because it's knowing what you can do and it's understanding that you're capable yourself. And you can do that not just with anything physical, I think. Mental strength is something you can get from anywhere.
Yeah. Do you feel stronger in your life having done this and knowing you're moving toward this?
Yeah. Like I'm goal oriented, like I have something to work towards. And once you get to that point and you accomplish it, it's almost like you hit a tier and you stay there because you have just gained so much in life. You can't go lower because it's like you're a better person, like you're a strong person.
I think that's your brand. I think Michelle doesn't go backwards is your brand. Right? I'm from LA, I've moved to London, we don't go backwards culturally, we don't go backwards in miles. We've done the sprint, I won't do
Yeah.
sprints anymore. We might as well go a bit further.
Do Olympic and
There
then
you go.
do. But yeah, the Ironman I'm quite excited for because it goes from, I think it starts in Belgium and then Luxembourg and France. It hits 3 different countries
That's
in
fantastic.
one.
Sounds like you're doing the Tour de France.
Ironman. I would like to do that, but that's quite aggressive, and that's for some other day when I build up the confidence. But
Well, and
I
when
see
you-
people who dive right in though.
Yeah.
I see people who dive right in and like, I'm gonna do a half Ironman, I haven't done anything. But I see them and they tend to get it and be like, I'm done, I've done it, I'm done.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
So this was the point I wanted to finish on. For people that can't, that don't have the same, they're interested in training, they see the benefits of training, but they don't relate to
How can I
weightlifting or bodybuilding or whatever. Did you see yourself, or did you always see yourself as an athlete?
Yes.
So, but that's what I mean, is like, so maybe they might get put off doing this, because you've always been athletic, this is your
Right.
goals. Or do you think this can be accessible by anyone?
But I think you can be an athlete at any age. Because I know guys, oh my god, I lost my voice. Oh, it sounds a lot sexier. Am I Scarlett Johansson from Her? But basically, like,
You do actually, just
I
that bit,
met
yeah.
guys who, I've been a swimmer my whole life. And it pisses me off that some people that I met,
I know, I feel like it should be a monologue now.
oh,
You just go.
it pisses me off when some guy I met only started swimming in high school and is faster than me. It shows some people just have a proclivity towards sports, they can pick it up easily, and it's just being athletic. It is. And it's totally okay, like you can start at any point in your life.
Well, I'd actually go further, and
What?
I'd say, having been a sort of all-rounder at school, especially, and I was always small, especially in
What?
school. In English.
No!
Yeah, no, I was tiny.
No!
I was tiny. I was choir boy. I was
What?
choir boy with huge glasses, and I was tiny.
Wait, we haven't talked about this. I've never seen that side of her.
Yeah, no, I was
Wait.
I was tiny. That's why I'm.
But
That's
you're
why.
so big now!
That's why I'm the way. That's the way I am now. Because.
Oh, because you're compensating for the tiny.
Wow.
Okay, that
that's-
actually makes sense.
Thanks.
It's like how fat kids tend to be really healthy because they're making up.
But I don't even think I'm that big. Thanks, Michelle.
No, yeah.
Anyway,
you should see the photos we took.
so anyway, my point is that I believe that. So we're growing up. I think so many people we separate ourselves into categories because of school, because of an early
Yeah.
age, where you're like, oh, they're the athletes. Those are the ones that are like picked for the teams. Those are the ones, and I'm not even going to compete at their level.
No.
But my point is, you don't have to be that kind of athlete. Like, training is for everyone, for loads of different purposes. Whether you want to get ready for your wedding, but for me, I think for everyone it should be long-term goals for
Yeah.
health benefits.
Yeah.
And you can set mini goals on your way where you can peak. You know, like you always want to do a marathon. That's fine. Like, I do agree that I think it's not good for you.
I'm not doing it.
You know, but if that's a goal that you want to hit, great, and then go back to living that balanced lifestyle. But I think everyone needs some sort of training in their life, and you don't have to be an athlete from a young
No.
age. You don't have to think, oh, I'm never going to do an Ironman because I was never picked for a team. That's fine, who cares? That was way back then. This is where you are now. And wherever you are right now, you can start, and you can find sports that are for you. As long as you're passionate for it. That's what I mean. If
you
an
have fun doing
Ironman,
it.
exactly. If an Ironman
Yeah.
calls to you because you just, go doing something
And different
through Belgium,
things.
Luxembourg,
Yeah.
France.
Different things have different appeal to people.
Yeah.
Like
Like
you don't
you said,
have
you were
to.
talking about, you were climbing
Yeah.
today, and you were like, I don't think this suits my body type, but I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not for me, but I think.
But it is for you, right?
No, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun, but like, for me, swimming is my thing. But it's just fun to have goals for yourself, understanding your body,
Yeah.
understanding what you're good at, and then realizing what you can do if you work on your strong points.
Yeah. But I
It
find
makes you feel good about yourself.
yes.
So like, what are your strong points, Harry?
Oh no, but just for example, I think
Weightlifting?
No, I think weightlifting is weightlifting is not. But the thing is, weightlifting is not a strong point because I
Why?
know because when I get into weightlifting, you know, it's like saying you're saying like okay, like swimming's my strong point. I'm into
Yeah.
swimming, but then
That's
when
my
you
strong
get into
point.
swimming and you realize. Okay, most swimmers are swimming a certain distance at a certain time. It's like me getting into weightlifting and I'm like, oh, I really like this. I know most people
No.
find it quite weird,
No.
you know, doing this thing. But the thing is,
You compare yourself to the best. Always.
yeah, and then I find out I'm miles away, so I wouldn't call it
No.
strength. I'm just still passionate about it.
But it's not. There's always going to be someone better than you. But
I don't know, unless you hold a world record.
No, they get overtaken like quickly. There's always going to be the only place you can go from up is down. So there's always going to be someone better from you.
Yeah.
But what you should do is look towards those people that are better than you for inspiration because
Yes.
you already are better than the masses by choosing to focus on one thing.
Yeah, don't even compare yourself to the masses. Just compare yourself with who you were yesterday.
Right, like it's individual.
It's an individual.
Yeah.
It's like golf.
What was that?
You're going back to Babylon. You're in Babylon now. You're in Babylon now. You're speaking in tongues.
Quiero esperar cuando despacito.
What was that? That was a bit of Spanish?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The janitor at my workplace has been trying to teach me Spanish. It has not been working well.
Well, I thought coming from America you'd have a bit of Spanish.
Oh no, you think California would teach you Spanish? No.
And how's your Chinese?
Good, I'm using
Cantonese
it
is
for work.
good? Mandarin?
I have to use it for work.
I-
It's hard because
total-
the Chinese people look at me and they're like, you're a Chinese person who's not great, who's from Asia and who doesn't speak good Chinese. Like, it's weird.
That's why
They think I'm a bad Asian.
When we talk, I feel like you are third culture because
I'm a
you're
bad
not,
Asian,
you're
which
not-
sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
You're a
Yeah.
bad Asian, and then you said that at work they think you're an American.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did talk to you about this. So basically, when I was, oh my god, I don't even know how to explain this. This is so third culture. When I was in Hong Kong, I always felt different. I felt more American. So I went to America. America.
Would
Land
you,
of your home
would you,
great.
would you
So
open,
basically,
would you
when I
open
went-
carry a sword? Like I told
The Texan open carry.
Texan open carry.
Sorry, I'm allowed to do this. But when I went to America, I was always Asian.
Mm.
And then when I left America for Hong Kong, they were saying I'm so like guai so white ghost, bak white. They're saying I'm a white person in Hong Kong where I was born and raised.
Why Goran for our,
Why Goran?
for
No,
our John
no
Lennon
bak
fans.
white. No bak white. Bak white, so white ghost.
Oh, okay.
Why Goran?
He's foreigner.
Well, yeah, you can be bakwai, hakwai. I'm both bakwai, hakwai, because well, ghetto in me. But, and so when I went to Hong Kong, I was like, shit, I'm not part of that. And then when I moved to London, they're like, oh, you're so American. And so, like, every single step of my life, I'm not part of where I am.
Mm.
And it's been so frustrating because I'm like, what, like, who am I?
I know. I feel like
What are we?
I feel
What
like I
are
should
we
put it
doing
out
here?
there that if we get enough subscribers, I will I will start a campaign where I will accept funds, and then with that funds I will
I'll take
I will
your
buy
money.
some land, and I'll plant a flag. And I'll create a new
Should we-
country.
should we
create a new
create-
country for mixed
Should we
use.
start designing our flag now? What would the flag be? It would clusterfuck. Our flag. Our flag would be a clusterfuck of people.
I think it'd be like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yes!
Just like everyone that joins
Yeah.
just adds to the flag. You just,
Yeah.
you just throw a color at it.
Yes.
Yeah. What happens when you
Right.
mix all colors together? Becomes like
Black.
black, right? Yeah. Or becomes like a brownish.
Hmm. Wait, is black all of the colors, or is white the absence of color? I don't remember. I learned
Yes.
this in school.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't do well. I didn't do well there.
Yes. No.
What are you saying?
I'm not sure.
What the fuck?
The
are you
absence of
saying?
color, you lost me there. I was too focused on that question. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Please, if you enjoy these, please like and subscribe. It really helps motivate me. I actually don't care about the numbers, but
Yes, he does.
if you do it, it does help me upgrade. For those of you that do enjoy this, it gives me more incentive to put more and more effort into this.
How do you
And
do
please comment for
Third culture.
TC.
TC.
1, 2, 3,
Am I
3C.
doing it right? 3C. Third culture kids.
But yes, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that. And I'll see you next time. Take care.